What's up, you guys? This is Vindictam's Cantina here. Came at you with another ScreenRant video. And I know what you guys are thinking, right? How much, how many articles can I rip to shreds that ScreenRant puts out, especially when it comes to KOTOR? May it be the original game, when they stupidly decided to make that one article to where basically they were pretty much saying that, the port of KOTOR kind of serves, kind of exposes the big problem with the Switch, which everyone knows that the Switch is underpowered. Everyone knows this. But like I pointed out in that video, Aspire knows how the Switch works, so if they wanted to port the remake to the Switch, they probably could, obviously with some effort, right? Because, like I always say about the Switch, is that it's a give or take type of thing with, games that, that originally came out on more powerful hardware. Or games that play better on more powerful hardware. But today, they decided to do something that let me just read the title and I'll speculate why they've been putting these out. These type of articles out. Star Wars High Republic Complicates KOTOR'S Canon Timeline. I've been seeing this a lot to where, and they're definitely going off by fan speculation. I know that, these writers are probably looking at what the fans think, and, they're probably not really doing their actual research. And to be honest, they're not the only person on the internet that hasn't been doing their research because of this remake. There's been a lot of other YouTubers that's been going off, just one writer that's not the lead or senior writer of this project. And I'll get more into that here once we read the article. The upcoming Knights of the Old Republic remake will be difficult to add to the canon timeline thanks to the High Republic multimedia project. You don't say. Although it's based on a Legends era video game, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake might be used to add the iconic expanded universe lore to the Star Wars canon timeline, though the Star Wars The High Republic multimedia project would complicate this process. The original Knights of the Old Republic was released in 2003 at a time where the expanded universe was the official Star Wars continuity. The game is still extremely popular almost 20 years later, with the player character Revan being a particular fan favorite. Could the KOTOR remake be used to introduce the game into the current canon continuity? And how would the ongoing High Republic material impact this endeavor? In 2014, 2 years after Disney purchased Lucasfilm, the X-Men universe was rebranded as Legends and designated in alternate continuity in preparations for 2015 Star Wars The Force Awakens, with the original 6 films carrying over into the new canon. While the sequel trilogy was highly anticipated, many longtime Star Wars fans were upset that the comics, novels, video games, screen media they'd loved from the Legends universe were no longer part of the ongoing mainstream canon. This included the high popular KOTOR games, which were among the few pieces of Legends era media that were considered mainstream. Over time, the canon continuity has gradually added Legends era lore to the Star Wars timeline, sometimes in significantly reimagined forms. This includes Dark Troopers, Grand Admiral Thrawn, Dirge, Palpatine's Resurrection, Palpatine's Resurrection, thanks to a hidden Easter egg in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, Darth Revan himself. The KOTOR remake will see Jennifer Hale reprise her role as the Jedi Knight Bastila Shan, but it won't be written by the original KOTOR scribe Drew. I'm not even gonna try to say his last name. My apologies and no disrespect to him. Sam Meigs, whose work includes in the Star Wars Avengers comics, will write the remake, indicating that the game will have more than just updated graphics and gameplay. With Revan already part of both continuities, the KOTOR remake might be a canon iteration of the classic Legends story, though the High Republic era will require it to have significant difference from the Legends version to avoid continuity snarls. How Star Wars High Republic changes after KOTOR. The High Republic books and comics, which takes place only a few centuries before the events of the Skywalker Saga, shows the galaxy in a developing state. That, along with the rest of canon lore, would present problems for a faithful KOTOR adaptation for the Canon Timeline. The galaxy Outer Rim territories were still being mapped and explored, which would mean that many of the original key planets, such as Tatooine, Korriban, called Moraband, and Canon, Terrace, and Dantooine, may need to be changed. Red lightsaber crystals couldn't be synthesized or found in nature as they are in legends and would need to be bled, corrupted with the dark side to be used in a canon game. Considering that the High Republic era begins in 300 BBY, and the original KOTOR game takes place in 3956 BBY, a hypothetical canon version could solve the Outer Rim issues by moving the events of Knights of the Old Republic further up the Star Wars timeline and into the High Republic era, but this presents a different problem. The Sith are the main antagonists of KOTOR, but the High Republic era takes place after the Sith Order seeming defeat. The canon timeline has a much less consistent continuity than Legends. Well, that's debatable if you look at the sequel trilogy itself, but I'm not going to get into that debate in this video. But fitting a new version of KOTOR into it might prove too difficult without massive changes. In all likelihood, the KOTOR remake will honor the Legends version and stay as faithful to the original as possible. KOTOR makes numerous references to Legends lore, including the Tales of the Jedi comics, through mentions of Nomi Sunrider and Old Banar. Canon lore, especially the High Republic material, makes it almost impossible to fit Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake into the current Star Wars timeline, so the game will likely simply serve as a loving homage to the classic Legends continuity and one of the Star Wars franchise's most popular video games instead. This is why I wish people would actually read the article on StarWars.com instead of going off YouTubers and websites like ScreenRant, because I've been seeing this whole worry in the Star Wars fandom, in the Star Wars fan base, for a while. Like, will this remake, be a part of the canon timeline? And here's the thing, though, right? Over here, it literally says. Let me see. KOTOR, which is part of Legends storytelling, dials the Star Wars clock back to over 4,000 years before the Skywalker Saga. They literally say that this game is going to be a part of Legends. They literally mention Legends. If it was going to be canon, they would have mentioned something about it being canon. And even like throughout this article, they're like saying how, they don't want to, let's see, and they say here, we trust Aspire, we trust the team that's working on it, and we're doing the work ourselves to dig in, deconstruct, and reconnect to why people love it, because we don't want to mess with that. We love it too, so we want to do it right. We hope everybody feels we've done this game a service when all is said and done. So, what's the point of this article? Like, seriously. And this is why I keep iterating to wait and see, because the speculation is just going to make people get worried, and then you pretty much have YouTubers like, I don't want to mention them by name, Geeks and Gamers, those sort of type of YouTubers that make videos and they, mention the fact that this game is ruined because of Sam Meigs, who isn't the lead or senior writer. And the fact of the matter is, it's not the writer's decision. It's not the writer's decision on what they do with the story. If they were told in, the meeting when they were getting ready to prep to make this, and and the head of Lucasfilm Games and the lead producer told them that this is going to be a faithful remake to KOTOR, then they're going to have to listen. They can't stray away from it. And I've seen the article about how, why do they need writers? They could create new side quests. They could need them to maybe fix some grammar mistakes. Stuff like that. And the fact of the matter is, I know that Star Wars fans. Jeez, I feel like I'm remaking my first video again by reading this article. I know that Star Wars fans are worried about this game being screwed up, and I get that. I totally get that. I don't want it to suck either. But the fact of the matter is, this game was just announced last month. We don't know nothing beyond what they said on in their interview with PlayStation, on the PlayStation blog, and even more extensively on the official Star Wars website. And the fact that once again, ScreenRant just made an article that's like, literally says something that anyone could easily do the research on, and then they, bring down, and then of course they make you waste your time by reading the other crap, and yet they put their own conclusion down the bottom. It is what they always do, and I hate that. It's like, why not make a positive timeline? God, Don Timeline. Why not make a possible news article for once? Why? What's up with all this clickbait? They literally said that this game has 4,000 of legend storytelling, meaning this game isn't canon. And the fact of the matter is, if you guys go watch, not my Book of Boba Fett video, but the one before that with Mizuki Rivendell, Lucasfilm is open to doing non-canon Star Wars stuff. Now, ultimately, Legends isn't exactly non-canon. It's a alternate continuity now. But the fact of the matter is that not everything is going to be canonized. Not everything has to be. And I feel like KOTOR is actually the way for them to actually start allowing people to maybe make new entries in old Legends video games, or B, continuing on from, something in the Legends continuity. And I know that the fans don't want this to be canon, but it's like eventually they are going to have to mention that elephant in the room, and that is the Old Republic. And I do think that they are maybe a little bit too hesitant to do that, because of the fact that there are passionate fans of that timeline. Heck, that's my favorite era of Star Wars, and my favorite all-time character is freaking Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader. And here's a fun little fact. I've never played KOTOR before. After doing my own research on this era and playing the Old Republic, the MMO, that's what made it become my favorite era of Star Wars, because of how interesting it is. So, do I think that this game is going to be canon? No. And if it is, then it is what it is. But ScreenRant, stop. Okay? Stop. This remake just got announced, and I know that you guys are making articles on it because of the fact that the hype train is still going, and you're probably seeing YouTubers still make videos on it, and there's probably more news articles out there on this. So you guys want to get into that clout with this game, with the KOTOR remake. And I mean, heck, I'm doing the same thing. So I'm definitely guilty with doing that. But the difference is that there is so much confusion and so much worry about this remake that I'm getting to the point now to where if they do more articles, and I know that they will, I'm not going to cover them. Like, I'm not going to cover any articles until we get more updates from Aspire themselves about this remake. That is going to be the next video I do on the remake. Now, again, the next video I might do with the original, I might actually stream the original game on my Switch for you guys. Because by then I should have my beefy computer back, so I'll be able to live stream that with the capture card. So it is one of those things to where, like, even I'm tired of just hearing this. It's like, again, if people would just do their research. No, this game isn't going to be canon. And until and the fact of the matter is, if it doesn't have to be canon, then they basically lied in this article. And I will call them out for that. If you decide not to pick this game up because of all the rumors and all the confusion right now, then that's totally up to you. But keep an open mind. Star Wars cannot afford to make another screw-up. We've started getting out of the dark times with the sequel trilogy, and things are looking bright. If they screw this game up, with how much people are not happy with the current state of Star Wars video games, I think this is going to break the camel's back and is going to make people even more angry than what they already are. I trust Aspire to make this game faithful. And I even put a tweet out, congratulating them, and the lead producer liked it. And I even, mentioned in there is that if this remake is just updated graphics and visuals and the same story, then I'll pre-order it on day one. They cannot afford to screw this up. And ScreenRant, if you do end up finding this video, knock it off until there's actual news. Stop with this speculation BS. If I want to hear speculation on this remake, I would go find a freaking YouTuber. I'm not going to spend all my time reading your articles and then oh look, a bunch of clickbait, and then oh look, their actual, conclusion. Anyways, this has been Vindictam's Cantina here, signing off, and this will be my last KOTOR remake video until we get some actual official news. Anyways, peace.